You never know how one small act of kindness can ripple through a community or even change your life. For 16-year-old Emily Johnson, a simple desire to help her elderly neighbor started as a tiny idea, almost a whisper in her heart. But what happened next was beyond anything she could have imagined, a miracle that would leave her neighborhood talking and her own life transformed. It all began on a chilly autumn evening. Emily was walking home from school when she noticed Mrs. Thompson, her next-door neighbor of over 30 years, struggling to carry groceries up the porch steps. Mrs. Thompson had always been a quiet presence in the neighborhood, tending her small garden and waving from her porch. But lately, Emily had seen her shuffling more slowly, her hands shaking as she tried to juggle everyday tasks. Something inside Emily stirred a mix of concern and determination. She couldn't just walk by. Before we dive deeper into this story, if you love heartwarming tales that remind us of the good in the world, make sure to subscribe to Kindness Story Hub, hit that like button, and leave a comment below. Sharing your thoughts or a story of your own kindness could inspire someone today. Emily decided she had to do something. At first, it was small. She began helping Mrs. Thompson with groceries, walking her dog, and mowing her lawn. But as the days went by, Emily noticed that Mrs. Thompson seemed more worried than ever. One afternoon, while helping her with the weekly grocery delivery, Mrs. Thompson finally opened up. "Emily," she said, her voice trembling, "I don't know how I'm going to pay for the repairs to my roof. Insurance won't cover everything, and I don't want to leave this home. I've lived here for so long. I can't do it on my own." Emily felt a knot tighten in her chest. She could see the fear in Mrs. Thompson's eyes, and it hurt. But instead of feeling hopeless, a spark lit inside her. "We'll figure it out," she said confidently. "I won't let you face this alone." The next day, Emily went to her school principal and asked if she could organize a fundraiser. With the principal's support, Emily started a simple online campaign, explaining her neighbor's situation and asking for help. She shared the story on social media, on local community boards, and even handed out flyers at the local grocery store and library. She wasn't asking for much, just enough to make sure Mrs. Thompson could stay in her home. Days turned into weeks, and Emily worked tirelessly. She baked cookies and sold them at school, held a small car wash, and even offered tutoring for younger kids in her neighborhood. Slowly but surely, money started to come in. But it wasn't just the money that warmed Emily's heart, it was the stories that came with it. A retired teacher donated, leaving a note that said, "I remember being helped when I was young. Now it's my turn." A local business owner sent a check with a message, "This neighborhood raised me. It's time to give back." The community's generosity inspired Emily to keep going. Even though she was just a teenager, she began to feel the weight of her actions, the power she had to make a real difference in someone's life. But she still had no idea how far this journey would take her. One crisp Saturday morning, Emily and Mrs. Thompson stood together in the yard, counting the donations they had received so far. The total had nearly reached the amount needed for the roof repairs. Mrs. Thompson held Emily's hand, tears welling in her eyes. "You've done so much more than help me fix a roof," she said softly. "You've reminded me that people still care. That kindness exists, even in the hardest times." Emily smiled, but just as she was about to respond, something incredible happened. A car pulled up to the driveway, and out stepped a man Emily didn't recognize. He wore a warm smile and held an envelope in his hands. "Mrs. Thompson?" the man asked. "I'm from the Thompson Family Foundation. We heard about your situation and wanted to help. We're covering all the repairs, no questions asked." Emily's jaw dropped. She had no idea that the story of Mrs. Thompson's struggle had reached beyond the neighborhood. Somehow, the simple acts of kindness she had taken, and the fundraiser she had organized, had sparked a chain reaction that reached people willing to step in ways she couldn't imagine. Mrs. Thompson hugged Emily tightly, sobbing with relief. "I don't know what to say," she whispered. "You saved my home, my memories, my life." The story didn't end there. News of Emily's actions spread throughout the town. Local newspapers picked it up, social media buzzed with admiration for the teen who had sparked a miracle, and soon, Emily found herself invited to speak at community events about the power of kindness. But for Emily, it wasn't about recognition or awards, it was about connection. She had learned firsthand that kindness is a gift that grows when shared, a light that spreads far beyond what we can see. In the weeks that followed, Mrs. Thompson's roof was repaired, her home restored, and her spirit lifted. But the true miracle wasn't just the roof, it was the community that came together, the friendships that were strengthened, and the lesson that one young person can truly make a difference. Emily realized that kindness isn't measured by the size of the gift or the money raised, it's measured by the heart behind it, the courage to act, and the ripple effects that followed. Emily's story became a reminder to everyone who heard it: the smallest acts of care can create the biggest impact. From holding a door open to helping a neighbor in need, every gesture counts. The world can feel overwhelming, but a single act of kindness can start a chain reaction that touches countless lives. As she reflected on her journey, Emily understood something powerful: kindness is contagious. The same way she had been inspired by the generosity of others, her own actions inspired even more people to step forward. She had planted seeds of hope, and they were blooming all around her. Looking back, Emily laughed softly to herself one evening as she walked past Mrs. Thompson's house, now vibrant and full of life. She realized that while she had set out to help her neighbor, it was she who had been transformed. Her confidence grew, her compassion deepened, and her faith in humanity had been renewed. One teen's decision to act had grown into a community miracle, showing that even the youngest among us can ignite change. And so, the story of Emily and Mrs. Thompson continues to live in the hearts of those who hear it, a story of courage, generosity, and the unexpected miracles that kindness can bring. Every time someone helps another person, they honor that lesson and keep the chain of goodness moving forward. So, the next time you see someone in need, remember Emily. Remember that even the smallest act, helping with groceries, sharing a smile, or donating a little time, can grow into something extraordinary. Kindness doesn't just change the world, it changes the people who give it, the people who receive it, and the countless others who witness it. If we all take a little inspiration from Emily's story, imagine how different our communities could be, full of care, compassion, and unexpected miracles. Because sometimes, all it takes is one courageous act to spark hope, rebuild lives, and remind us of what it truly means to be human. The miracle wasn't just the roof being repaired. It was the reminder that kindness matters, that every act of care has value, and that hope can be found even in the darkest times. Emily's story teaches us that we all have the power to make a difference, and that no act of kindness is ever wasted. So go ahead, help a neighbor, lend a hand, share a smile. You never know what miracles your kindness might spark.